the sense of having family, you have 5 parts to put in: love, hardships, understanding, devotion, and light. In my case, light was nationality and being who I am, Samoan. Within our culture, we live off of religion, respect, and having pride. They say pride can kill you. I fully agree, but I'm not talking about any of those qualities. Instead, I chose a quality that can't be instilled in a person or taught to. Rather, a quality learned through an essence of whom you meet, and if you're going to be one, to keep it alive. Living for 19 years now, I came across a variety of people who show these qualities in their teachings, work ethics, parenting, friendships, or just being who they are and so forth. And each person I came across, I took it piece by piece, creating my own collage of qualities to better understand this. In my language, they call it mativafesagai. To me, though, there isn't a word for that at all. The meaning of this is greater than good deeds and being a good Samaritan. It's actually being humble to yourself and others with everything you have, sharing with them. No hesitation whatsoever. Just the better than living at any cost. See, as I was explaining this, I know somewhere in your head you're confused, or even thinking to yourself that I'm cuckoo for this one. But it has to be broken down well enough for any person to understand. As a kid, I would always worry about me, and that's just the way it was. Nothing else really mattered until I met my Uncle John. I've always respected him for whom he was, even when I was younger, because he was just big. I mean, Paul Bunyan type of big. This guy would hustle a 5 a.m. shift till 7. Get home just in time to make dinner for his son and me. Then get about 30 minutes of sleep and a side job as a bar security, bouncing. He'd drive back to work by 10, and he's ready. Then handle his hours till daybreak and begin the same routine next day. The thing about him and his money, he could only hold us on our rent. There were times where we would starve for a couple of days, no biggie though. As for my uncle, he was 6'5" and 326 pounds, a living legend I recall. 6 days a week his routine would go on, and Sundays he would rest. He would pay rent, bills, groceries, give his wife money, and then his friends, and have enough to gas up. Then go the week with no lunch and scrounge around the house for change. Stress would always hit the top of his neck and he still could smile at us. Money was always tight, but my uncle never asked for anything, even anything back. I asked my mom, why doesn't Uncle ever say no? She told me, your heart defies on how much you love others and shows you have family. Your wallet can only tell you how long your family will call you until it runs dry. I never understood this till my uncle passed away. At the wake service, I never seen the church so packed. Many colors were in the room that day. Business people, streets, out in attire, even others I never knew. Was it a sight though? After the wake, my cousin was being surrounded by all these people, each one either slipping him a card in case of emergency or just sitting there passing on money and sliding it through his pockets. Others gave him phone numbers. There were those who checked up on us regularly and brought in groceries every 2 weeks. Some made house calls once a week to see if we needed anything. We went about our business though. Our rent was taken care of and we had not a care in the world. Somehow my uncle lived in the right morals. Whatever he had, he gave to anybody, no matter what the cost. And in return, he came back tenfold. He gave us his all in return. They gave his son kingdom. I moved out 3 years later because of school problems. But still the people come and my cousin lives happy. I came to realize my uncle had to choose the path he did because he knew it was the right one. He knew by counting on your blessings you end up at the beginning. But if you didn't worry and just do what you did, you'd receive anything life could offer. Not a day went by where one person who helped us had shifted away or ceased to return. They smile with joy when they see us and hope that one day one of us will carry the legacy of Big John.
You have your Catholics, your Mormons, your Methodists, whatnot and so forth. A society of churches you have sturdy foundation that can hold up a congregation of hundreds to thousands and more. Tenor or your sermons, which have to call out to the audience so they can understand their lives and hopefully why the week ended up the way it did. Mostly for spiritual guidance. In this case though, we're trying to figure out how a church can hold even a black sheep in a white flock and lead the bunch to victory through teaching of an unlikely shepherd, my pastor. I attend United Samoan Pentecostal Church. Our group is about barely 25 to 30 people. Personally, it's a small church with our hall upstairs where everyone gathered daily. We have 2 services on Sundays, night service and daytime. My pastor was an ex-army soldier. Served his time well in the force and returned home to spread the word of God and who he is and how he lives by the book. I wasn't always in church. I used to hang out in church and just post up doing nothing outside. Hang out and wait for the sermon to be over. And then there were those times when I was told to do things and I rebelled. As usual, I went to McDonald's. It's only across the street. My pastor would catch me and tell me to go back in. I would, but never willing. At times, I cursed him out. Then I would feel the aftermath. There are a couple times, though, things I've done. Any person in their right mind would just kick me out. As for my pastor, he banned me and let me go. There were times when I took it to the highest extreme. Like when I took his car, I stole it. When that happened, he left it up to my parents to watch over me. Still, he acknowledged for me to show up in church every Sunday, anticipating the wait to see if I arrived. Here goes a pastor who has a majority of 24 adults, and he worried about me, a kid. What a dork. Time changed, and I started to realize why he watched over me and really tended to my needs as a child. He was building me to be my own person and understand how to think. He would make me take out the trash, sweep outside, vacuum the church, clean the hall. Wait, those were chores. Hold up. Watching how he works with the elders, analyzing the work he does in the little amount of time that's given, and the money he provides to make miracle happen without breaking a sweat, not even dialing the person back saying that he couldn't do it. Through his personal experience, he tried to bestow upon me the reason for being who you are makes you everything you wanted to be. Time passed and I joined high school, played ball, joined more sports, and started growing my hair out. Still, I kept my pet. Let's go back to church each Sunday. Underwent harder situations in high school and worse scenarios where things looked finished. Has this pastor seen what was going on though? All his problems went away faster than they appeared. The guy was consistent with me and patient at the same time. I never met anyone who could be that humble. When I was younger, I tried everything to make sure he'd hate me. And here I am, finished with high school, stepping into the real world. Still confused on why he still pushes with me. The guy has a church to run, a congregation, and also a family to take care of. But still every precious extra minute was used to watch over me.